Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Bay and today I'm going to be testing out some new Fineliners that I got. For those who don't know, I have a few different Fineliners. I have the the typical the Micron pen. I have some. It's a brand called it's Micron pen, but it's called Sakura Sensei. My fiance got them for me, and then I recently picked up these Spectrum Noir Artliners. So for markers that I have like to color with, I have Spectrum Noir and Copics, but I always found that when I used my Micron pens or even my Sensei markers or Fineliners, it would always smudge for some reason, and I wasn't sure if that was because they weren't meant for alcohol markers or if if maybe I was putting too much liquid on the page. I'm not really sure. So I saw these because I have the markers for Spectrum Noir, and I was like, hey, these could be pretty cool to try out. So I picked some up from Michael's. It came in a 6-pack, which I'll show you later. But I wanted an excuse to try them out. So I quickly whipped up a little picture. It's just an Eevee and a Bad Ditto. So as you can see, it comes in a 005, a 01, a 03, a 05, a 08, and a brush. I believe I ended up picking the 3 to draw with. I do like the thinner fineliner, like the 01 and the 005, but I just found it was going to be too small for what I needed here. So I went with the 3 because it seemed pretty standard. And I think even when I drew with the other fineliners, the Sakura pens, I usually just picked an 03 as well. So the first thing I noticed about them, they were very smooth. They were very easy to work with. I really enjoyed them. I didn't feel a difference between them and my Micron pens necessarily. It was just kind of like, oh, okay, another fineliner. But the color, the pigment was really nice. Going across the page is very smooth. So I really enjoyed that about them. Something I forgot to mention real quick, this is not a sponsored video. I saw these in Michael's. I was like, hey, these could be really cool. So before anybody's like, oh my god, you're just saying this because you're sponsored. No, I just saw them and thought they'd be really fun. And like I said, I'm looking for a new fineliner anyway, so this seemed like a good alternative for what I was looking for. And something else about these markers, if you have used the Micron brand, you know that they're very thin. These ones are, they feel significantly thicker, and I guess the body of them almost feels cheap compared to, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's a wider base. I'm not really sure. I don't know if anyone noticed, but you could see my cat in that last segment there, so sorry about that. She was just playing underneath my desk, and I didn't notice until afterwards. So I took the final picture and I put it on top of a sketchbook, just so that way if it bled through, at least it was bleeding through onto a sketchbook and not my desk. I started off with an artist loft marker that I had. I thought, oh, this isn't too bad. And I don't have very many brown colors. I think I got 3. So like, whatever, it'll work. But then when I put down the Copic marker, it actually bleached it. I'm not really sure what happened there. It was really strange. I've never had that before. I don't know, maybe I just took too long to ink over top of it. So unfortunately the Eevee doesn't look very good. But you know what, that's not what it's about. I wanted to test out these fineliners and see how it went. But I was pleasantly surprised and really excited to see that the fineliners did not smudge. They didn't bleed like they even when I look at the back of the picture, there's no lines behind it. So if you were worried about it bleeding through, I'm using cardstock personally, so maybe test it on another piece of paper, but I didn't have any bleed through from it. Obviously, if you're going to color it in markers, don't color it. You'll have bleed through. But I didn't notice any smudging anywhere. Even when I had to go in really heavy with the Copic markers, it seemed to really hold up against the alcohol. So I was really impressed with that. I'm unfortunately not very good with Copics. You'll see I go out of the lines a lot, and I'm pretty sloppy. But I'm really trying to learn, and I thought this would be a good way to learn, because it's nothing's more frustrating than when you're coloring a picture like, yeah, this looks super good, and then you put your Copic marker down and it's like smudge, and you're like, oh no, what do I do now? That frustrates me beyond belief. Even when I was doing my bullet journaling, I would have my fineliner smear, so I was trying to get away from that. But these seem to be really a really nice alternative. In case any of you guys are wondering why I colored the Ditto Eevee pink, I wanted to have it like this Eevee was, or this Ditto was still learning to transform, and it could like get the shapes right, but it couldn't get its colors. So that every time it would transform, it'd still be pink. I gave it like a little later, like even when I pick its main, I don't know. I did keep it the same color I color the other Eevees, but I really wanted it to be pink. You'll see that I'm using the Spectrum Noirs and the Copics together as well. It works all right. I think they must have different alcohol consistencies because they blended kind of weird, but I was able to get them to blend until I used the chisel tip on the Ditto's face. That didn't look too good, unfortunately. In hindsight as well, I probably would have, if I had realized just how different they were, I probably would have switched the Spectrum Noir around with the Copic, so that way the Spectrum Noir was the shadow. But when I tested it on paper, it blended it alright, like on a scrap piece of paper, so I don't really know what I did there that mucked it up like that. But yeah, even when I went over it like super heavy on the Ditto's face, still no bleed, still no smudge, nothing. So I'm super impressed with these. I will probably continue to use them until I can, well, even if I get Copic marker fine liners, I'll probably still use these. Because it just came with such a great size, and when I was looking around in Michael's, they actually have colored ones as well. And hopefully in a later video, they've got these really cute glitter markers that I want to try out. So you may see more of the Spectrum Noir. I haven't found a really significant, like, the colors are really nice from Spectrum Noir. The only issue I have is that, like, the Spectrum Noirs are an actual felt tip. And then, as everybody knows, Copic markers are brush tip. So I went in, I just colored the Eevee's ears with the fine liner again. I just wanted to see how dark it got. The 8 wasn't as big as I thought it was. So, but it still worked out pretty nice. That little white pen you saw me use was just a paint pen. And I realized I forgot to leave a white spot for the eye, so I just went over with the paint pen, dabbed it around. They're really nice for adding in color. And all I'm doing here is I'm just taking my my colorless blender and fixing my my little mistakes everywhere. It's nice that I'm able to do that at the very least, because like I said, I'm not very good at coloring in the lines. I want to learn, but I'm not that great at it. Oops, sorry, you saw my arm there. Unfortunately, here when I went to go touch something up, you'll see I put my hand on it and I mucked up the Eevee's eyes. So I had to go back in and like refine line over stuff, and the fine liner went over really nicely on top of the ink. The Copics didn't really that much though. So unfortunately, it was just one of those little things. Just be careful if you got a paint pen. Just remember, let it dry. All I did after this was just add a quick little shadow underneath. I don't have any lighter gray, so I had to use this nasty dark gray. It's not the best piece that I've ever done, but all in all, I'm really happy with what I was able to do with it. So, final thoughts on this. If you're looking for a fine liner that works great with alcohol-based markers for a good price, these Artliners are definitely good. I think they're about 24 bucks or something like that for 6 of them. So if you see them around, give them a try. I think they're great. Anyway, that's all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. All right, bye.